Welcome back to another episode of the Bear Trap on the Boomer Bust channel, a Bears podcast by a Bears fan. I'm your host, Terry. And today, I was thinking, you ever see those situations, like maybe you've been through this or, friends or whatever, where somebody's getting cheated on and the person that's getting cheated on, they're so mad at the person their spouse or significant other is cheating with. Like, oh, if I see that dude, I'm going to kill him. Or if I see that girl, I'm going to fight her. All this stuff. And they're going crazy. I'm trying to find out where that person is so I can fight them. And I'm always just like, well, is it really their fault? I mean, it takes two to tango. Your significant other obviously was at a point that they wanted to cheat on you and they allowed the opportunity. So it kind of seems like you're mad at the wrong person. That's how I feel with some of these Bears fans. That's how I've always felt with the Packer rivalry. But specifically from this past weekend, where it is crazy to me how I literally like reading stuff on the internet or hearing people in the same sentence where they're trashing the Bears. They're calling him Aaron Rodgers and they're calling him this and that. Like, does that make you feel better? Does that make you feel a little good? Does that erase the loss anymore? You know what I mean? Because really, we were going to keep getting mad at Aaron Rodgers. And then people get mad at the refs. Bro, Aaron Rodgers is paid to win football games just like everybody else. Aaron Rodgers is also one of the best quarterbacks to play the game. If you cannot recognize that, then you're just an idiot in terms of football. That's just the point. It's cool to say you're a Bears fan, but I've said this before. You should be a football fan above all. Obviously, your energy is going to pour into your team, but if you're not even a fan of the sport, then there's not much to talk about. You're just blindly rooting for colors. Like, it's so silly to me, these people. Aaron Rodgers is horrible. Oh, he's this. He's the worst quarterback. He's this. He's gay. He's Aaron Rodgers. He's blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. And guess what? He beat your team. And so what's the production of us doing that back and forth? To console each other? Or do we actually want to talk about the football game? And then these people get mad. I see these people get mad. And, obviously Aaron Rodgers said he owned us. And so people get mad. He said he owned us. He said this. So disrespectful. What's disrespectful is the fact that our team can't win. And so you should be probably mad at the organization more than Aaron Rodgers. Because Aaron Rodgers didn't come over here and seduce our team into losing. We lost. And we lost all those times he beat us. Because they've had a better team and he's a better player. And so we should have a better team and we should have better players. But we don't. And that's for a lot of different reasons. And those are the questions you should be asking. Those are the conversations you should be having. Those are the people you should be mad at. Not Aaron Rodgers. And so you can feel in general how you want to about a player doing that in general. But when it comes to Aaron Rodgers doing it because it's the Bears, look, win. The same thing they say, oh, they was dancing in the end zone. Then don't let them in the end zone. How about that? Ain't that a crazy concept? You don't want people celebrating and you don't want people, doing all that. Then stop them from making plays. You don't want, guess what? Aaron Rodgers is not sitting there after a loss, after just getting sacked and going to the crowd and saying, I own you. No. He's doing that while they're winning, while he iced the game after scoring a touchdown on us. So that's just what it is. Like, I mean, it's really not too much of a long conversation. People grow up. We need better Bears fans. We need better Bears fans. If your idea of being a Bears fan is sitting online trolling and crying that Aaron Rodgers beat us, and so you're going to attack Aaron Rodgers, you need to become a better Bears fan. That's just what that is. And so I've said many times before, I've always respected Aaron Rodgers. Again, one of the best quarterbacks. And so, yes, it's going to take a lot to get to that, caliber where you can play against a team of that level. And then you're talking about, again, in the recap, I talked about this. This is a team that's not fully stocked. Obviously, people are going to say, oh, our running backs were, X, Y, Z. Guess what? We still were able to run the ball because their defense is X, Y, Z. And even when they're fully healthy, they're not that great either. And so we came in with a puncher's chance, as I said before. And when you have a player of Aaron Rodgers' caliber, that can be the X factor. And that's what it is. And that's okay to accept that and push and want for us to do better. Now, at the end of the day, let's be honest. Like, I'm breaking down football. Whether it's draft, whether it's the Bears, usually the Bears. When I got film on a regular year, when the NFL isn't BSing me, I'm breaking down other players and other teams. I'm breaking down football. But as fans, we're not really doing nothing but watching and supporting. And so, we're not, even if we sign petitions, whatever, if we had a march, whatever, but we're not doing that. We're not doing anything. We're not pushing people to get better players. We're not doing anything. We have no influence on these decisions. So I guess if it makes us feel better to collectively want better, that's fine. But still, I want us to understand the real, and it's for our benefit. It's not for the team's benefit. If we have better Bears fans, we're educated, we're discussing things, it just makes the conversation better, makes the fan base better. I'm not going to sit here and act like that's going to make the decision makers do anything differently. So that's just a fact. Switching over to Eddie Jackson. Holy crap. So Eddie Jackson not only wants to get into it with a former outstanding player, but also a former Chicago Bears outstanding player. And this reminds me, this is not NFL news, but this reminds me of the DK Metcalf with Shannon Sharp. Now, that to me is way more egregious, to be quite honest, but I won't get into that. But it reminds me of that. I just don't understand the rationale of going at a legend. Or, that might be loose with Briggs, but with a Bears player, he's a Bears legend. Let's say that. But I don't understand the rationale of going at a player that was good. And not only a player that was good where you're trying to check them when they clearly already have a great resume that's not going to change, but you also try to check them over something that's a fact. It wasn't an opinion. It wasn't, something about that was random or incorrect, like, oh my God, that was a terrible slant route. Like, bro, I didn't run a slant. The call was a this. That's fine. This is a fact. And so it's not just Lance Briggs, but I've seen other people, some people pull up film, some people write articles about how Eddie Jackson has declined. Now, that's one conversation, but even within that conversation with the tackling, both of these things I've been talking about forever and got all the hate in the world for it. But I've been telling you this forever. Now, is there a point where I ever said Eddie Jackson can't play? No. But again, you got some people, not some, you have a lot of people that don't know how to evaluate football. And I try to keep explaining this. Your physical ability, your football and mental IQ, and your technique work together. So if I can say Eddie Jackson isn't an elite safety, and somebody said, what are you talking about? You see how he caught the ball? You see how fast he runs from hash to sideline? Like, you can say these things and still recognize the talent they have. Somebody, Richard Sherman, he could be an extremely smart corner, an extremely smart football player. I say Richard Sherman isn't a great corner. or he's not a great corner anymore. He wasn't a great corner, whatever. And you say, what are you talking about? You see how he diagnosed plays? You see how smart he is? He talks all the time about how he knows what's coming. That's fine, but that doesn't negate the fact that he doesn't have the physical ability. You see what I'm saying? So these things work together, but it seems like people always only see it like it's Madden. Oh, he's a 99, period. That means everything. No, it doesn't. And so when I've talked about the things that Eddie Jackson isn't good at, you get this attack. What are you talking about? Eddie Jackson is a great safety, blah, blah, blah. One of the things is his tackling. If you watch the film over the years, you know exactly the stuff I'm talking about. You've seen it on film. I pointed it out in the preseason. I pointed it out this season. The man is not a good tackler. Now, there's plenty of safeties that aren't, free safeties that aren't, and that's fine. You could be good. You could be better at one thing than others, or you could be really good at one thing and not good at another. That's fine, but that's who you are. It's just stating the facts. So the man isn't a good tackler. He's not good in run support. And he has cost the Bears, and now you got people pointing it out. And so what does he do? What does DK do? What does a lot of players, a lot of people this generation do? Not in this generation, but in this our current society. Because older people do this, everybody. They want to get sensitive. And they want to clap back, as they say. So you want to lash out at Lance Briggs and try to quote his tackling numbers, his missed tackle numbers. Are you insane? And I'm not about to get into I'm not about to get into none of that, because none of that matters. I don't care if Lance Briggs had a season where he missed every tackle that he attempted. He's a million times better than Eddie Jackson. Point blank, period. And so it ain't like you going back and forth with free safety. You ain't going against Jerry Zuma. You ain't, talking back and forth against Earl Thomas, even though he can't hit. You ain't talking with none of these people. You're talking with a linebacker. You're talking with a linebacker and trying to talk about tackling. And not just any linebacker. Again, a Chicago great player. This ain't a guy that was on the bench. And even the fact, if he was a guy that never played a game, and you was like, oh, you suck, you never even made a tackle, that does not change the fact that Eddie Jackson sucks at tackling. He wants no part of it, and I've shown you many times before. And so now that's coming to the light. And I don't see too many people sticking up for Eddie Jackson. I'm not sure where the fans fall on it. It looks bad on him, and it shows to me, again, the mentality. I've said it before. I've outright said it at one point and got a lot of backlash on the channel about how the defense is cocky and not disciplined, all that. A lot of backlash because they was doing well. So it's like, what are you talking about? But then I've been pointing out more subtle moments over the years. And this is another one where I continue to look at what they care about. Look at the things they get up about. Who's the one that is raising their hand for accountability? And who's the one stomping their feet? Who's the ones that are like, we can do a better job? And who's the ones looking for the camera so they can dance? Those are the type of people you got to watch. And how many of those do you have on a unit? That's what you got to watch, the personality of the unit. And it's harder to find these days, but I just don't think we have too many people that rather be critical and get better, more so than we have people that's just looking for their moment to dance. And so that's how it is. So that's it for me. Obviously we'll talk more. We're going to the Bucks. And Tom Brady. So I can't wait to hear what y'all got to say about that. But that's it for me. Go to the comment section. Let me know what you think about A-Rod and Sandy Owns Us. How'd you feel? And then tell me what you think about Eddie Jackson and Lance Briggs and their little beef. Go to the comment section, share it around, get thumbs up, subscribe, and remember, stay up and bear down.